Dun 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 dun.
Hello and welcome. I'm Carl Matsumoto.
I'm Josiah Matsumoto.
And this
is
Motosport.
Timing stuff on that. That was good. Yeah. We're in separate rooms, so hopefully this works out. Jared, how you doing? Oh. He's not here.
Yeah, the last time we recorded without Jared was ooh, and now we're ooh. And Jared is too busy, like, working.
Being a boss, yeah.
It's like he, runs his own business.
Good for Jared, but we miss you. We want your thoughts on this. So we might give some pauses. Hopefully he can give some input into this still. We'll see. He might be able to work his magic.
We shall see.
Exactly. We shall see.
We shall. So this week we're in Monaco, fun race. Oh, real quick before we get going, some maintenance. If you don't already, subscribe to us wherever you listen to podcasts, motosportpod. Follow us on social media at motosportpod and send us questions, give us feedback, anything at motosportpod@gmail.com.
Indeed. And
oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, fun fact, we are on our honeymoon still.
Yeah.
In
all
Spain,
of the places.
Spain and Morocco.
Yeah, our delayed honeymoon 3 years later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because COVID, obviously. So it's been a fun trip. Should we talk real quick about that?
Let's do a real quick, trying to keep the timing
for
good.
Sure. Well, we started in Morocco, and Morocco, I gotta say, is incredible.
I know.
Honestly, better than I expected. Amazing.
Yeah. The hospitality there is so good. Everyone was so nice, went out of their way.
Next level. Especially, shout out to Ashraf, the Moroccan guide. Seriously, this guy, if you ever go to Morocco, Casablanca, you have to look him up. His name is Ashraf. On Instagram, it's Ashraf Moroccan guide. I'm going to spell that for you. Ashraf is spelled ACHRAF Moroccan guide on Instagram. Seriously, look him up. He's going to show you a good time if you go to Casablanca. ACHRAF. That's Ashraf.
Seriously.
Amazing human. He made us feel like we were at home.
Honestly,
I hope to connect with him again.
Would not have gotten into our Airbnb at 2 a.m. in the morning if Ashraf wasn't just around at 2 a.m.
Right? Just like hanging out, because why not? Yeah. I tell you, Morocco's different. It's something special. Yeah, absolutely.
And then we went to Tangier as well.
Yeah.
And then we went to Zaragoza. Spain.
Zaragoza's beautiful.
Gorgeous.
As they say in Zaragoza. Gorgeous. That was good. I felt like we were living in an ancient city.
Exactly.
Where modern people still live there. It's wild. It's just really cool. There's history there dating back to Mary, Mother of Jesus, coming in the year 40. That's insane. I couldn't believe. I was like, wait, what?
What?
It's hard to wrap my head around that. It's like, what?
Who knows?
Would recommend.
Yes. And then we went to Tarragona, which is a small town on the coast of Spain. Cute. We only had we were there for less than 24 hours. So.
Yeah. But it was fun. It was a good spot.
Mm-hmm. And now we're in Barcelona. Barcelona, which is our final destination. We'll be here. We'll be here through the Spanish Grand Prix, which we are attending.
Yes. Oh, I'm so excited.
I know.
Can't wait for this weekend.
It's funny because we were struggling so much to watch the Monaco race just to access it at all. And
apparently you can't watch F1 TV footage in Spain.
What?
Because, I don't know, there's some weird contracts of broadcasting. It's confusing. So we cannot watch the race how we normally watch it. But we figured it out.
Yeah, we figured it out. But I was like, oh, no, we still have another race while we're here. We're going to figure out how to watch it. And I was like, no.
Nope. We're going to be there. We're going to be watching it in person.
Yes. Live. In the flesh.
The flash. Yeah, it's going to be amazing. But Monaco was fun. Even though we had trouble watching it, we did figure out how to watch qualifying and the race. But it was a Spanish broadcast.
Yeah.
So,
which was fun.
Honestly. It was really more fun than I figured it would be. I thought it was going to be kind of confusing. It was easy to follow. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Even though we don't speak Spanish. It was fun, though.
Anyway, let's start with Zoom in the news. I don't have anything for misbehaving men, actually. But I also have not been on TikTok this whole time. So there could be lots of things happening that I am not aware of. But we do have a lot of romping in the paddock news.
I guess we could give a shout out about some of the Imola cleanup.
Sure.
Because we didn't get to talk about Imola being canceled. So bummer that had to happen. Mostly a bummer for the city and the people there and the flooding and everything. Mm-hmm. Not a cool situation. I'm really happy that they canceled the race, even though would have loved to see the race. But they made the right choice. It would have been wildly inappropriate to hold that race. And saw Yuki helping clean up. What a guy.
Yuki helping clean up. Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And Yuki's the best. Yuki's just great.
I know.
He's so fun. Yeah. But yeah, the pictures of him just sweeping up the streets and helping out. That's the only driver I saw cleaning up.
Yeah. I know. It's weird because it's we know that AlphaTauri is based there, but why was there no coverage of Nick DeVries doing this?
Right. He's no, I don't do this. I don't know. But whatever. Good for Yuki. Glad you're helping out. Glad you're a good person. Also, shout out to Max. Held a fundraiser or something. Did something.
Yeah, it was a race.
Yeah. The game. Virtual race.
Yeah, virtual race.
Like this. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Virtual race fundraiser. He raised a lot of money to help with the disaster relief there. So, hey, he did something good and got to give credit where it's due. So go Max.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who else is romping in the paddock?
Famously romping in the paddock and shutting down the racetrack in Jeddah was will.i.am, who apparently is still making music. So I wanted to bring up a little music segment today because I'm starting to see Formula One references in hip hop more, which is great. I love that. So will.i.am back in Jeddah shut down the track, which caused a number of people not to be able to do their track walk. a number of drivers were like, oh, well, I guess I'm just not going to walk the track.
What?
Because this artist who hasn't been known since 2008 is shutting down the track for a music video. We watched. Yes. And this is the formula. So silly. will.i.am featuring Lil Wayne.
Thank God.
Thank God for Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne.
That song. It was not a great song. It was not a good video either. And most of it is shot on a green screen. So, like, why did you shut down the track? Because the parts that were shot on the track could have easily been shot on a green screen and we wouldn't have known the difference.
Yeah, and will.i.am. Like, you don't need to be making these kinds of moves.
Right.
It feels like a weird power play.
It
and
is.
You're disrupting the sport. Like,
Yes.
Who are you?
will.i.am. Hilarious. But yeah, I think it's called This Is the Formula. I forgot what the song is called. Doesn't really matter. It's funny, but Lil Wayne's verse on that is good. And shout out to Lil Wayne, always doing a great job saving songs since he was 12.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Also in music though, and better music, IDK, the rapper, released an album a few weeks back called F65. Good album, really good album, but has a lot of Formula One references and sampling in it. There's announcer bits and
which announcer?
Track noise. Oh, I didn't even look it up actually. I'm not sure. Sorry.
Wow. Ignorant and uninformed.
I know, I didn't.
That's Josiah.
Oh no. I gotta do more research.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh man, but go listen to that album. It's a good album, and there's some really fun samples from there, and there's references to like specific racing points of Max Verstappen is referenced, Lewis Hamilton, George Russell, and Fernando Alonso. I think that's it in terms of drivers, but it's actual race footage audio,
right?
So it's cool. Good album. Just excited to see more of that. I love when my interests cross over, so that's fun.
Totally.
I guess that's the closest I can get to romping in the paddock.
Well, there's lots of other romping in the paddocks. I mean, Honda's romping in the paddock with Aston Martin.
Yeah, Honda's gonna rejoin the sport. So Honda famously was like, no, we're kind of done after they won the championship with Red Bull. And then Red Bull's like, well, can we still use your engines? They're like, yeah, don't worry. Like, we'll still make the engines. We're just like planning to leave the sport. And then Red Bull's like, cool, we're going to build our own engine factory then. So they're putting an insane amount of money into that. And then now Honda's like, we're coming back to Formula One with Aston Martin in 2026 with the new engine guidelines.
What I want to say about this is that the president of Honda was quoted saying, in 2026, we're super excited for this partnership with Aston Martin. And if Fernando Alonso is still around, we would love to have him. We think we'd be a great asset to our team. Also, Yuki Tsunoda, one of our own, came up in our driver academy. Would love to have him as a driver. No mention of Lance Stroll.
Yeah, it was a not so subtle way of saying we'd kind of rather not have Lance there, but it's not our decision, so we're not gonna
radio silence on the Lance Stroll front.
Yes.
So that's really funny to me.
Yeah, that was hilarious. I was like, oh man, that's got to be so embarrassing for Lance. I would love a Yuki Alonso team.
Oh my God.
Incredible.
That would be great.
It'd be really cool.
Yeah. Funny stuff.
Yeah. I guess also in terms of team news, Alfa Romeo next year is leaving as the title sponsor for the Sauber Group. So the what is now known as Alfa Romeo team will be known again as Sauber F1.
Mm-hmm.
And that is in preparation for Sauber's partnership with Audi in 2026. Mm-hmm. With the new engine regulations coming in 2026, Audi's joining Formula One, and they'll be supplying engines for Sauber Group. So Alfa Romeo's like, oh, well, we want to be partnered with an Italian engine provider, primarily Ferrari. And so they're in talks with Haas, actually. So Alfa Romeo might be joining Haas, and that could be interesting. Could be Alfa Romeo Haas or Haas Romeo. Alfa Haas. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. That could be fun.
2026 is going to be a big year.
It is. It'll be really interesting. Yeah, I'm excited to see what that means, because the engine regulations will be a big change. That's far enough away it doesn't really matter, but I'm excited about it because they're going towards more sustainable engines and more hybrid power units, stuff like that. That's as technical as I can get with it.
I was going to say, wow.
Yeah, I'm so smart about engines.
Cool. The last thing I want to say for romping in the paddock is our favorite melancholy Monegasque is no longer single.
Oh. Dun, dun, dun.
We've got a new wag romping in the paddock.
Wait, wag?
Wag. It's what they refer to wives and girlfriends.
Oh.
Isn't that?
That's weird.
There's whole Instagram accounts called like Wags F1. It's very presumptuous about the sexual orientation of the drivers and very gendered. But anyway.
Wag.
I
don't like that. That's like,
Yes. Well, tis the sport.
I think it's too close to Wagyu, and then you're just referring to these people as meat.
Meat.
Like super high quality meat, but meat nonetheless. Oh, man.
Yeah, so Charles' new girlfriend came to the Monaco race. She looks exactly like Charlotte, his ex-girlfriend. Like, exactly like, I was like, oh, is that Charlotte? They're back together? No. This is Alexandra.
Oh,
so
okay.
I don't know anything about her, just that Charles is dating his ex-girlfriend 2.0, essentially.
Hilarious. That's so funny.
Oh man, good for him.
Good for him. Finding love, maybe. Hopefully, I guess. Yeah.
We want Charles to have a win.
We do. We want Charles to be happy. He deserves it. Yeah. Any way he can find it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Maybe not in a driver championship, but maybe a loving girlfriend.
Maybe. Oh, that's
what
funny.
were you gonna say?
Oh, that our server last night kind of looked like Charles Leclerc.
Oh my god. Yeah. When he made eye contact with me, I was like,
Charles.
His eyes were Charles.
They were. I was like, Charles eyes. Yeah. I could look at those eyes all day.
Staring deep into our souls.
Absolutely.
While he was taking our order.
Yeah. It made the food that much better.
Honestly, yes.
It was a good meal. I think best meal of the trip so far. Mm-hmm. Not because of that, but didn't hurt. Didn't hurt. All right. Is that it for...
Yeah, let's move on.
Great. Let's get on to the race. Racing. What a fun race.
It was. The rain really brought the drama.
Yeah, it was definitely way more interesting than last year's Monaco Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Last year was really, really boring.
Like, and Monaco usually is very boring.
Yeah.
So
this one was fun. It was eventful. There was a decent amount of passing even. And not as much as in Formula E, apparently. But
yes,
still, it was great.
Oh, should we? Okay, so Jared did mention us or tag us in his story that he was watching the pre-qualifying show, and it was an image.
Or was it post-show?
Okay, or something. It was something with Will Buxton.
Yeah, Will Buxton interviewing Lance Stroll sitting under an umbrella on the ground.
Yeah, and so
it looked silly.
We didn't have access to pre-show, post-show, anything, or we didn't really have time to watch it. So, Jared, if you could just give us a little splainer.
Yeah,
what was it? Fill us in on this news.
Let us
need to know.
Okay, so, yeah, basically watching Will Buxton do the grid walk. I love to see it. And when he's coming up on the Aston Martin of Lance Stroll and just talking about where he's at and the weekend he's had, he looks over and sees Lance Stroll is sitting up against the wall on the side of the track with an engineer on either side of him, and he's holding up an umbrella from the sun. And Will Buxton bends over to catch his eye and point at him and be like, "Can we have a word? Can I do a quick interview?" And Lance just waves him over, and Will goes and sits against the wall. These engineers leave, and it's the most chill but silly and weird, very just absurd moment. And yeah, love to see it. I will send you both a little video of it so you can watch it.
And we won't react.
No, I'm gonna react. What?
That's so ridiculous.
Will Buxton!
You're so silly. Oh, poor Lance, though.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about Biggest Loser.
Lance. Biggest Loser, honestly, Lance Stroll.
Lance Stroll. Lance was a part of every racing incident, I think.
Honestly, he hit every car in the first lap, I swear. And some of it was maybe his fault, maybe not. And some of it was just racing incidents. And some of it was totally other people's faults, like Hulkenberg. But
he also just started way farther back. He didn't have a good qualifying. It was
terrible qualifying.
Alonso had a normal qualifying for Alonso.
On the front row.
Yeah.
P2 qualifying. Great job, Alonso.
Great job.
And wait, where did Stroll qualify?
P14.
P14.
Yeah. P14.
That's wild. So it barely made it into Q2 and ends up the last place in Q2.
And then ends up DNFing because...
And then, does not finish the race and has to walk back all sad.
And that was because of the rain. I think he lost part of his front wing.
Yeah, something about that. But that's on him. He was pushing too hard and he wasn't driving smart. He wasn't.
Yeah.
The whole time he was just mad. He was driving mad. He was driving desperate. And it just you could tell he didn't feel comfortable. There was something off. It was not good.
This Honda deal has him scared.
Maybe. That could be part of it. He's like, no, I gotta prove myself. And then he just does the opposite.
I know. He's like, oh my God, my dad might not be able to save me.
Yeah, honestly, this was the worst race of the season for him. And the worst qualifying, this was the worst weekend. He just looked bad.
Yeah.
I feel like all season he's honestly been doing fine.
Yeah, he's been doing fine.
Not as good as Alonso, who is a championship winning driver. So who cares? But he's been holding his own. And then this weekend, he's just not good. He just didn't have a handle on the car or the track or something. It was rough.
Yeah.
Definitely Biggest Loser.
Also Biggest Loser, Perez.
I know.
Perez.
That was sad.
Yeah. starting from the back of the grid and then had like a million pit stops. And then that collision with George, just like icing on the cake.
And that was George's fault.
Oh, fully George's fault. Fully. But just adding insult to injury there for
real.
Sure.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, let's just keep bringing you in to try out different tires and maybe it'll do something.
Right.
Because there's going to be rain, so if we put you on wets when everyone's on inters, maybe it'll help. Or if we pull you back and put you on mediums, maybe it'll help. But it didn't, and ends up in P16. No points for Checo. That's rough.
It is really rough in his fight for the championship. That was a big blow.
And lapped twice by Max.
Very painful.
That's rough. Just painful weekend for Checo. That's hard to see.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because he won Monaco last year.
And he's just the street circuit king.
And right? He should have done well here. We wanted him to do well.
But when you fuck up in qualifying,
you don't have a chance.
You don't have a chance in Monaco.
Yeah, so. You don't. Yeah. It is all about qualifying. Pretty much how wherever you qualify is where you end up. That's pretty much how the race went, almost. Even with some passing. But some things did switch up.
Yeah.
And that was fun to see.
I know. Yuki...
Yuki had a great qualifying.
I know. He had a great qualifying.
The car was struggling. He had brake issues. And then
we got some classic Yuki radio messages, which is really always a treat. But
definitely fun. He's like, what, you want me to crash the car? Is that what you're telling me? So funny. They're like, hey, if you do this weird thing with it, I don't even know what they were really saying, but something about the settings. It's like, you might get better braking. And he's like, that's going to make me crash.
He's like, no, the brakes are shit. I can't do anything.
They're terrible. And the brakes were terrible. The engineer on the radio said that. He's like, your brakes are not good, but maybe try this. He's like, what, you want me to crash then? So funny. And then, ends up out of the points. Too bad, because he had a really good qualifying.
Started P9.
Yeah.
And a great qualifying. Best qualifying so far. First time he's gotten into Q3. I just wanted him to stay there, but he couldn't.
I know.
Could not hold off the McLarens.
No, and then he had just enough rough times and ended up finishing below Nick DeVries. I think for the first time this season. I'm not sure. I
think so. Yeah.
But none of them got points, so biggest losers, AlphaTauri.
Yeah, biggest losers, AlphaTauri. Also Ferrari, of course.
Yeah, Ferrari. Come on.
Ferrari is always a biggest loser.
I know. Just pulling some weird moves. And Carlos classically telling them that their strategy is dumb. They're like, no, we had to cover off Hamilton. He's like, I don't care about Hamilton. Hamilton's weak.
Hamilton is weak.
And then Hamilton finishes ahead of him. So, okay. Yeah. But there were poor choices by Ferrari. And then, of course, Leclerc had his classic Monaco bad luck.
I know, ended qualifying P3 and then got a 3-place grid penalty.
Rough. There's no coming back from that.
Oh my God. Just for causing a collision with Lando. And it's not like Lando benefited in any way. It's not like, it's just so unfortunate.
I know. And you have to give penalties for those things.
Yeah.
It makes sense, it wasn't even causing a collision. It was impeding.
Right, impeding
something.
Lando.
Yeah. While Lando was on a flyer, Leclerc got in the way, so he couldn't go super fast. But yeah, too bad. Yeah. Ended up in P6 and P8, Leclerc and Sainz respectively. That's rough. Both
Very
of them
rough.
Finished below Mercedes, which is not what you want if you're Ferrari, not what you'd expect if you're Ferrari, especially because you qualified ahead of them, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, technically, yes, you did qualify ahead of them.
Yeah, so that was rough. Also, biggest losers for sure, Haas. Haas had a rough weekend. They did not look good in qualifying. They looked terrible in the race. Hulkenberg was crashing with everybody.
Hulkenberg got so many penalties.
Yeah. And then Magnussen was also driving erratically, kind of like Stroll. That reminded me. And then also had a DNF. The only other DNF was Magnussen. So Haas, rough.
Seriously, were there winners?
Were there any winners?
Yes, there were. There were winners.
There were winners.
Ocon.
Okay, Alpine in general, great weekend.
Yes.
Because Gasly also finished P7, which is great. And Ocon finished P3.
Yeah.
Qualified P4, started P3 on the grid because of Leclerc's penalty. Ocon had a great race.
He had a great race.
Yeah, he was driving clean. He was driving smart. He was holding people back. It was amazing.
And honestly, just really the battle between Ocon and Sainz really highlighted how bad Ferrari's strategy was, because they were trying to get Ocon to pit. Yeah. And it was really obvious that they were doing these fake outs of like, Carlos, box, stay out.
Stay out.
They
like
did
3 times. Oh, yeah, twice. It was so funny.
But it's like, I'm like, after you try to do that the first time, it's not going to work the second time.
No.
Come
on.
And
also, I think Ferrari started on hards or they were on opposite tires. Is what it was. Yeah. Sainz and Ocon started on different tires. So, like, whatever it was didn't make sense. Oh, yeah. Sainz was on hard tires.
And switched to mediums.
No sense for Sainz to come in super early because they were like, box, like before lap 30. And the pit window for mediums was like 35 to 40 laps. And the pit window for hards was in the 50s. So, like, if you're radioing box in the 20s, of course Alpine is going to be like, no, that's not real.
Right?
Stay out.
Yeah, like it's not a thing.
That's not, no. That's just dumb.
And I love that Ocon's race engineer was like, Ferrari's getting frustrated behind, so we're good.
Just keep doing what you're doing. Yep. That was hilarious. So funny. And they're like, yeah, we're really getting in their heads. It's great. Embarrassing for Ferrari. Too bad.
It makes me happy for Otmar, though, that they did.
I know, yeah.
I'm always rooting for Otmar.
I am too. I like Alpine. I like
Alpine too. They've got their little French drivers,
They do have their French drivers.
I love it.
Yeah, it's great. And good for Ocon. 3rd time on the podium. He now has a P1, a P2, and a P3 in his F1 career. So, yeah, the trifecta, I suppose.
Good for him.
You might say. Good for Ocon. Honestly, yeah, great for him.
Yeah. I would say Hamilton is a winner.
I'd say Hamilton and Russell are winners.
Well, Russell, didn't he get a penalty?
He did, but he ended up only 1 place behind Hamilton. And when he started,
still?
2 places behind. So
true.
Yeah, he ended up P5 ahead of Leclerc.
Russell, desperate with the radio messages, though.
Honestly, okay, that was a little pathetic. He was like, I think I could bring the fight to Ocon. So can you tell Hamilton to switch with me?
No pressure. No pressure, though.
No pressure, but if it makes sense, like maybe we switch and I can bring the fight to Ocon. And it's like, well, if you want to...
You're further behind Hamilton than Hamilton is behind Ocon. Yeah. Like, why you don't have a say in this right now? Like,
right?
And then his race engineer was like, no, Hamilton's pace is great.
Yeah, he's like, Hamilton's got good pace.
We're not gonna.
You don't have better pace than Hamilton right now.
We don't have an argument here, so we're not gonna do that.
If you want to go race Hamilton, go race Hamilton. Like,
why are you asking just to switch positions? Just race him if you want to get in front of him to race Ocon.
I think he was doing it because it's Monaco and like it is riskier to like have that fight in Monaco, and you really don't want to crash out both cars.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what it was. But you're just being a little too presumptuous, George. I do wish Hamilton could have brought that fight to Ocon better, but Ocon was having a great race. So
yeah, and it was risky because they were on inters. It was wet. I don't.
Yeah,
you don't want
trying to pass. Them,
you don't want to crash out when you're in P4, which is a great position.
Yeah,
you don't want to be stupid. So I get it.
No, for sure. But I do think that's why Russell even suggested it, is because of the same reason. Like, I don't want to risk racing with Hamilton to crash us both out. But
yeah, so
maybe if it makes sense, let's switch. But no, it doesn't. It doesn't. Just listen to them.
George, so funny.
But yeah, Mercedes brought a big upgrade this time, which
the car looks completely different.
It does. It looks wild.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very different. And yeah, has full side pods now, but still looks different than the other cars.
Yeah.
The floor is still different. Like the way that the floor flays out is wild and different.
I love that. I love that Monaco just exposed Red Bull and Mercedes floor.
Yeah.
Just the underside of the car is like apparently very secretive, and actually the book I'm reading about F1, like The Secret Life of a Mechanic or Secret Life of the Pit Lane, they were like, it is so, teams will do anything to avoid any pictures being taken of the floor of the car because there's so much like intellectual property that you can learn about how the car is constructed and whatnot.
Sure.
So like people, like race engineers and mechanics will try and block photographers if there's any sort of aerial movement with the car because there's so much that you can learn from seeing the floor. And Monaco's just like, oh, let's just crane these motherfuckers up and out of here.
Like 10 stories high, and there's no way you're possibly going to be able to cover this. Yeah, so wild. And also we're going to angle it so that you'll see it extra.
It's like the whole world knows now.
So funny.
Man, so funny.
Toto was having a heyday about that. He's like, come on, these crane operators. Like, we got to do something about this.
Oh, man. Yeah. Any other winners?
I mean, some obvious winners.
Max.
Good job, I guess.
Max had a great race.
I know.
He did. Honestly, I got to give him credit the way he nursed those tires for so long.
Because he was on mediums for
he was on mediums for the longest time. Like,
and he kept complaining about the degradation, but was still
and
just
you could
fine.
see it.
Yeah, you really could.
It was wild. And he lost a lot of pace for a while there, but he really held on to that and did a great job.
One of my favorite things about this race was Max on the radio complaining about his tires, and then the team just constantly responding like, you can come in like whenever you want, you just let us know. Just had to come on and say that.
And then Aston Martin really mismanaged their tire strategy with Alonso, and so pretty much Max had it in the bag.
Alonso should have had a chance to win this race. Because when it started raining and they finally pitted Alonso from his hard tires, because that was the strategy. Is like Alonso was on hards, Max started on mediums, and so theoretically that could have worked out where with the different tire strategy where they could have flipped positions because Alonso could have gone further on hards than Max went on mediums. It didn't happen. Max did a great job with those mediums and held on until he could pit in that window where the hards were going to pit.
Right.
So great job, Max. Big winner there. But when they did pit Alonso, instead of putting him onto inters, they put him onto mediums when it started raining.
What are you doing?
They put him onto mediums like 2 laps before Max pitted and to inters, and everybody else started pitting to inters. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing? Everyone was putting on inters,
and then put Alonso on mediums.
And then, like 4 or 5 laps later, brought him back in and put him on inters.
It was like a lap later or a lap or two because it was an immediate mistake because it was raining. And so that gave him an extra 20 seconds of lost time because he had to pit twice instead of just once. Mm-hmm. And then when they came out of that and they both were on inters, Alonso was like 21, 22 seconds behind Max, which means had he not pit a second time, he could have been in front of Max. Mm-hmm. And then it's just about not letting Max pass you the rest of the time, which would have been tough. Been tough.
But at least you would have been in the fight.
Yeah. And last year, famously, Alonso held up the entire grid from P4 back.
So we know Alonso can defend.
We know Alonso can defend in Monaco, especially when it's raining. So he could have won this race.
Oh man.
It was so aggravating. I really really was. This was the chance. Alonso should have had a chance to win this race.
Honestly.
It was aggravating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So also biggest losers, Aston Martin, but biggest winner, Alonso.
Mm-hmm.
Alonso did a great
Alonso
job.
had a great race.
Honestly, his qualifying was incredible.
Yeah.
He was pushing.
Mm-hmm.
It was impressive.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Driver of the day? The official driver of the day was Ocon.
Yes, and I gotta say I agree with that.
I think I agree as well. I think
Ocon had a great race.
I mean, how can you not say that Ocon, like Alpine was just so in the middle to the back, and here comes Ocon qualifying P4, finishing P3 on the podium. That's
I think Alpine in the standings right now is what, 5th?
Mm-hmm.
So it goes Red Bull, Aston, Mercedes, Ferrari, and then Alpine.
Mm-hmm.
Or even McLaren? I don't know. But either way, they're not fighting at the front. But this race they were.
Yeah.
And last race too. But like it's good to see like Ocon just really held his own that whole race.
He did.
It was awesome. It was really impressive. And the whole weekend. He had a great weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, top 3 drivers, like they did
all have
job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think had Alonso had his team not messed up the strategy, I think he would have been my driver of the day.
Yeah, I agree. And he should have won.
Yeah.
Well, he should have had the chance to win.
He should have had the chance to win.
Yeah. I'm not saying he definitely would have won because Max had a great weekend also. He was killing it. But he should have had the chance to win that race. And I'm still waiting for that win.
I know.
But I stand by Ocon. That's a good one.
Agreed.
Great race. Yeah. Driver of the day.
Monaco. River Monster Monaco.
River Monster Monaco. Mm-hmm. If you want to go get your Monaco shirt, check out M Market Co. on Etsy.
And tell me that the shape of Monaco does not look like a river monster. It does.
It does.
I was struggling because I was like, this is ugly. Whatever.
I think it's cool.
Whatever.
Who doesn't love a river monster?
Me. Question of the day?
Question of the day. If you have a question for us, send us that question at motosportpod@gmail.com.
Excellent.
So today's question comes from
me.
No, it's me.
It's you? All right.
I said it, remember?
Okay. Oh, yeah. I added some.
You added to it. It comes from
caveats.
Us.
Yeah. Go for it. You say it.
Which drivers would what one driver?
One?
Did we say one?
We said 2.
Oh. What 2 drivers would you go on a vacation with? Backpacking.
Low budget vacation.
Low budget vacation.
We're talking hostels. We're talking, you got to rough it.
You got to rough it.
Who would you take with you? Do you want to go first?
This is honestly tough because the roughing it part that you added is hard because all of these drivers are super rich.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think any of them would have a good time on a roughing it vacation.
Yeah. Oh, one thing I want to say is I do want to take Alfa Romeo off the table. We're not allowed to choose them.
What?
Come on. Yeah. Come on.
I was going to say, I think Bottas might be one of the only people that could rough it.
We got to make it harder. Come on. We choose Bottas or Zhou for our answers every time.
I don't think Zhou would have a good time.
No, because Zhou is like rich.
He's fancy. Yeah,
he's fancy. But I knew we would all choose Bottas. So we're gonna take Alfa Romeo off the table.
Hilarious. Okay, fine. Not Bottas. Oh, well, now I don't even know who to pick then. I think that was going to be my pick. Do you have an answer?
I would take Alonso. I think he could hang, honestly, but I would take happy Alonso, not sad Alonso, angry Alonso.
Yeah. That's important.
Yeah, because
he needs to be in a good mindset.
I would not take Slytherin Alonso. I would take Hufflepuff Alonso. He's in his Hufflepuff era right now, and I like it, and that's who I would take. Plus, I think he would just be down for whatever. And
maybe.
I think so. When he's happy, he's doing weird things. He's watering flowers that probably don't need to be watered.
That was so cute. Like, you don't need to do that. They're cut flowers.
I know.
They're going to die anyways. That's great.
Plus, we like traveling to Spanish-speaking countries, and so I want someone who speaks Spanish.
That's true. We do enjoy that.
And then I do think my second one, this is just for pure enjoyment, is I would take Leclerc. Because I just think it would be funny to see Leclerc rough it. I think
just
it would be
to rough it.
So funny.
It would be pretty hilarious.
He's so unintentionally funny and has such not like perilous bad luck, but just like funny bad luck.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, ha, hee hee hee.
Ha, hee hee hee. That is funny. He's also pretty go with the flow.
I think he's really chill. I think he would be like, oh, no, that's okay. Like, he's driving a Ferrari right now. Like, you gotta be.
Right. You gotta be.
You gotta be chill.
I'm just trying. That's great. I think Leclerc is a good choice, actually. That would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
That would be fun. Oh, man, this is tough. I really wanted to pick Bottas. You really ruined this for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Fine. I'll allow you to pick Bottas.
I just think he makes the most sense for a roughing it.
I'll allow it.
For a roughing it vacation, like Bottas. Like, he's the only one that would be of drivers on the grid. I think Ricciardo would be also decent to
You're always trying to pick Ricciardo, but you can't.
Saying, like,
he's reserved.
You're talking about roughing. I know, I'm not picking him because I can't. But okay, I'm not going to pick Bottas. I'm not going to pick Ricciardo, obviously.
Who are you going to pick?
I'm going to pick Nico Hülkenberg.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think he would be chill.
Yeah.
I do. I think he seems like one of the more chill people to vacay with.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know enough, but I stand by your choice.
Yeah, I just think it's there, you know?
Yeah.
Honestly, both Haas drivers I could see. But Magnussen, I think, would get a little dicey because if he gets mad,
it could be a disaster.
It could be a disaster. Like, oh, now this is not fun.
He's just fast. Breaking the doors of your hostel.
Yeah. He's like, what? That worked. Like, we're in, aren't we? Like, yeah, but now we gotta pay for it. He's like, what? I'll pay for it. I'm like, but now we're not roughing it. So
we're on a budget. Come on,
budget,
dude.
Magnussen. So funny. So yeah, Nico, I think I would take Nico. And then I'm gonna go with Norris.
Okay, that was
Lando
actually
Norris.
one of my choices
Yeah.
that I was considering. I was like, I think Norris would be pretty chill.
Yeah, I think he'd be fun. I think he would enjoy things.
Yes.
I think
he'd be willing to enjoy things.
Yeah, he'd be like, oh, this is a fun experience. Like, let's get into it.
There are some people who would not be willing to enjoy this experience.
No. I'm not sure. Yeah, a lot of my favorites I don't think would enjoy it. I think Yuki would be hilarious, but would hate
Yuki would cost us too much money in food. I think he eats way too much. I'm like, no, we can't do this. We can't eat at all of these places, Yuki.
Yeah, we're on a budget, Yuki. That's funny. Yeah, I don't think that would necessarily be fun. I think Albin would be a fun choice.
I know Jared's going to pick Albin.
I think Jared's going to pick Albin.
Jared, who are you picking for your two?
Yeah, let us know.
You can't pick Bodas.
No.
But you can pick Albin, who is your best friend. So.
And I know you will.
All right, honestly, I'm going to say Lewis Hamilton. I feel like he could actually get down with a roughing it vacation. Maybe not used to it, but I think he could do it. And then for my other person, I'm going to have to say Alex Albon.
That's good. Good picks, Jared.
Good picks, Jared. Oh, yeah.
That's funny. So, yeah, Norris and Hulkenberg for me.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
I think that'd be a fun crew. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a random one, but yeah.
Yeah, really random. But
speaking of Lando, Lando's got a little chin beard action going on these days. And I'm like, what is happening?
What? Why?
Okay.
Okay. I mean, hey, do your thing.
But anyway, that was the question of the day. I don't know. Do we have any Minnesota moments?
Yes.
Oh, you do? Go for it. You go.
Okay, so the first one is because we were watching in Spain, and so the announcers here are different. There were three of them who often spoke over each other, and it was hilarious. But there was a lot of, in the tight moments, there was a lot of, oof! Like every time someone got close to the wall or each other, it was oof, oof, oof.
Oy, 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 oy.
Oy, 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 oy. And so the oof specifically was oof.
Oof.
And that reminded me of oofda. And which nobody really says oofda, but people do say oof in Minnesota. So I was like, oh man, that's Minnesotan.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. So I enjoyed that.
I think I have one, but it's a stretch.
Go for it.
It was the wall of dads.
Do you remember? I thought about that too. I remember that.
For some reason, at the end of the race, there was a wall of just men with beer bellies separating.
Yellow shirts.
No, red shirts.
Oh, red shirts.
Separating like the team of engineers from the drivers, and they were just there, like holding hands,
linking arms,
and Max had to he couldn't go to hug his team because
jumping over
this wall of just beer belly dads, and I was like, what are these Minnesotan men doing in Monaco?
It's so funny. It was so funny. They all had the dad bod.
They all had that dad bod gut. I was like, what's happening?
Very Midwestern dad.
Yes.
Felt like home. It was great. It was good. Jared, did you have a Minnesota moment?
I did not. Thank you.
Oh my God, Jared, what a great Minnesota moment.
That's hilarious. Totally agree. I do have one more just in case he didn't.
Yeah.
And that was, we posted about this actually. It was Will Buxton trying to dance.
Okay, yes. That one was
this white guy Minnesota moment where he's like talking about this dance around the track, and he was like trying to do this little dance thing, it was so cringy.
It's especially funny because he was trying to describe it. It was Lewis Hamilton who he was trying to describe. It's like the coolest driver on the track, and Will Buxton is like, trying to embody Lewis Hamilton energy, and it's like never gonna happen.
Never gonna happen. You're talking about like the most suave person in the world, and in the sport specifically. But like it just like doing this dance, and like it just was so cringy. I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah.
But
all right, those are our Minnesota moments. I do, in our last 6 minutes to end the show, I do want to talk about my Max Verstappen dreams.
What?
I've been having reoccurring dreams about Max, and specifically we are in direct competition with one another, and my whole goal is to just whip his ass, and I do every time. And we are always like, the first dream I had, we were like at a water park, and it was like a lazy river competition. Other drivers were there, but it was me against Max, and I won. The second dream I had, we were in like a Survivor-esque competition, and it was one of those, weird Survivor obstacle courses, and I was last to go. Max was in first place, and when I went, I totally beat his time, and when I got up, his name was like on the first place podium or whatever, and I just like ripped his name down and was like, yeah. And then the most recent dream I had the other day was Max and I were siblings, and our father was Logan Roy, and we were vying for Logan Roy's spot in like a guy's grocery game-esque competition.
Wow, this crossover of so many different things.
And it was amazing. Like Max was always ahead of me, always like the number one pick, but I like came in and was like really good at guys' grocery games and was like right there with him. Yeah. So
neck and neck.
Who knows who the successor will be there? The dream ended before we could
Obviously,
get there.
It will be you, because you always beat Max.
It's true. I always beat Max.
I think you're better than Max in real life, too.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Ew.
Oh, funny. Oh, man.
All right, well.
Fun race, though, I gotta say. This was a good weekend.
Great weekend. And
looking forward to Spain.
We will be back for Spain, and we will tell you all about our in-person, real-life ventures.
In-person experiences.
Yeah.
I'm stoked. This is, I have no idea what it's going to be like, but I'm so excited.
Mm-hmm. Okay, bye.
Bye.